Sorry if there's a light glare. I don't really know what's going on with that. The lens is clean, so. But it appears that the channel has taken a turn for the worse here. I guess we're into S10 restorations now. Because my kid's truck, well, yeah, it's turned into a restoration. Not that I'm complaining because, well, I want it as nice as I can possibly make it. The only problem with that is I have no idea what I'm doing. So, thanks to a lot of YouTube, like DIY Auto School or DIY Auto Body, I don't know, Southwest Rod and Custom, I think it also goes by, and Bad Chad. Between those two guys and another channel, maybe I think it's Overspray, well, I've probably learned just enough to be in a lot of trouble. But where we're at is we're at a full shop. My car is inside, the truck is inside, the back window out. That was another YouTube adventure. How do they take these back windows out? Well, about halfway through a YouTube channel, it was laying here on the frame. Not busted, but successfully. Putting it back in, probably another story. I'm still on the fence about pulling the windshield. I'm afraid I'll break it. But let me show you where we're at with this here truck. Full house, as you can see. The car won't stay in here. I was going to try to do it in here, it's just too tight. But I got a little bit more sanding to do. There's a few little dings here and there that need to be fixed. One back here on the cab. Got him a bolt-on 4-inch hood that fits okay. We got some wiper cowl issue right here on both sides. Hopefully I can slot the hood hinges and move the hood forward, and then slot some of the mounting on the wiper cowl and move it back just enough where that clears. That's going to be a problem. Yeah, just been wicked busy. Decided not to use his bed because it'd been hit on that one side and it had damage on the right rear. So we pulled the parts bed. Actually, we're no shortage of S10s. There's the oldest boy's S10. So this was my truck. I got it for whatever reason. I have no idea now. But it was straight as an arrow. Obviously it was a pull truck that hauled chemicals. You can see it's not rotted. It's just overly crusty. The bed had taken some abuse up here. The bed floor I was concerned about. You can see there's a few pinholes here and there, but I can fix, and I don't really know what's going on with this, but I can fix that as well. I'm going to do a Raptor liner, so, you know, even if I don't weld all the holes up, I'll tape it from the bottom and Raptor line it, and it'll last. I was concerned about around the fenders, which where the trim was, and then that turned out to be fine. And then lo and behold, I've never seen any of these rust bubbles right here. And look at this Swiss cheese. That's the only spot like that, and it's crusty on the back side, as you can see. So I guess so that means deeper into uncharted territory with panel replacement. So I'm going to go to the U-Pull-It here near me Saturday with the Sawzall and the Ziz wheels and the whole gang of Milwaukee, and I'm going to saw out a piece of truck bed and I guess fix this. Well, so I was hoping to have primer put down this weekend, but I don't think that's going to happen. Just now starting on the bed. Then I've had Tacoma issues, broke the door handle off again. I should have videoed a lot of that truck, because that truck has actually had a bunch of wrench time here lately with me getting it back to a daily driver. Because the boy, the youngest boy, is driving my C10. We have to get his truck together. So that's where we're at on the S10 restoration. got his wheels in last week or week before last or something. So the GTA wheels are history. That's what we've been up to. Nothing real Left 4 Dead-ish, but I mean, this truck was in somebody's backyard that nobody wanted, so I guess it was Left 4 Dead, just like that S10 right there. Also Left 4 Dead. There was a cat living in it when we found it. Took a second chance at life or whatever. Just like this parts truck. We'll put his bed on the parts truck and put it out in the field, and well, I told him he could have it too. Do whatever he wanted to with it. He wants a race car, so I was like, here you go, have 2 S10s. But I'm gonna get to sanding on this bed. Hopefully we don't find any other sad situations. Got some pretty good hits right here in the top. I'm gonna go get a stud gun Saturday and work on this, and then there's a dent on the side over there at the bottom. Then there's some body filler in this side over here, which I knew there was a little swoop right here, but I didn't realize it was a poorly fixed swoop with mud already in it. Now I gotta weld all these holes up too. Had camper shell probably in those goofy bed rails that they all have. But I've had him running the big cup brush, getting this floor clean so we can see how bad it is. It's not as nice as I'd hoped, but it's not as bad as it could be. So it's always that. Well, I'm gonna get to work here and get some DA-ing done, and we'll check back with you shortly. All right, well, we're back on this thing. I went to the junkyard or the U-Pull-It, whatever, today, and I'll probably get cussed from here to the time they crush that truck, but I chopped it wasn't a perfect bed, and I did look around before I chopped up a good bed, because that, you know, that always kills me when you go and it's like, man, look at this truck bed. Well, somebody sawzalled it. So I sawzalled this piece out here. It was a, boy, the paint job on this thing, orange, blue, and black, like a clown car. We won't use all of that. Of course, I cut it big. So, and then so far, all I've got here, this is just a reference line, just a square line. Measured from the gas door down, and then I came from this groove in this body line, and then from the floor actually. So it's pretty close. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this piece. I'm going to go below this double-sided sticky tape. I'm just going to use that as my line. It's probably pretty close. I'll check it anyway. You know, I'll check it from the bottom or lay it, I don't know. We'll check it somehow. And I got spot welds I need to get on this side, and then there's this weird looking push-in thing. That deal. I'm gonna pop that out. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the bed brace. I'm gonna use the bed brace to help me line it up, and then I'm gonna come. I'm probably gonna cut this at an angle and then back down. That way I can still use this tab on that piece there, on the new piece, to help me make sure everything is where it needs to be. So I feel like with that little push-in deal and the bed support rod, mount, brace, whatever, that I could get it pretty square. But what I'm going to do also is I'm going to come about right here and then cut it off, just slice it off. That way I can take this piece, once I get this inner part of the bed off of this, I can kind of lay it up there, fit it a little bit, and we can start marking, clamp it, mark it once I get everybody cut. That don't even make sense to me. Well, I mean, it does, but it probably doesn't make sense to you at all. What I'm trying to say here is I'm going to cut some stuff off, and then I'm going to eventually weld it back on there. I really hope that I hope it works. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, hang tight. We'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. All right, I got the panel removed from the front piece of the bed that I cut off, and if you watch the floor, if you watch the Impala floor video, installation video, I go over spot welds in that, so you can pretty much see them. There's a spot weld here. See that little circle? There's one here, here, and I believe there's one down in here. I have to clean it off. And then that thing just kind of chisels around it, and it just pops out. It's like a little push-in button. But as far as getting this off, because it's kind of bonded on, I just used the propane torch and got it hot, and a hammer and I guess one of these 3-in-1 paint knife deals, and got the corner in there and just walked it down pretty much, and it pretty much just popped off. I've got to mark, I've got to slice this panel, this lower section off right quick, and we'll work on getting this piece off here. I'll video that in case you want to see it, so just hang tight. Alright, we're pretty much fit. I had a slight little oops with the grinder, but that's what the MIG gun's for. So it's fit. You can't see where that little push-in deal is because obviously there's vice grips there. I'm going to come down at an angle like I was saying. All I did was mark me a line on here so I know where to go back and clean up. And I still have to trim this inside lip down, the original bed stuff, and then I'll clean this new piece back up, you know, come down about, I don't know, ½ inch or so, get some clean metal, and I'll show you how I'm going to fit this, what my plan is. Watched a couple videos, and I like this method the best. It's less gap to weld. Actually, there should be no gap. Instead of going straight in, like instead of my, say this is the cutoff blade, instead of going straight in like this, I'm going to leave this tacked, and I'm going to come in at an angle, a real steep angle. Alright, this is a punch and a flange tool. Not going to punch that one because I can't get in there. See, punch that smaller hole above that bigger hole. The only reason I'm punching more is because the spot welds were basically in the same spot, the ones I drilled out. So I'll have to actually drill two, which ain't a big deal. Alright, what I'm going to do, I'm going to tack this thing right up like this, just up against it, just like it is. Get it where it'll stay, where I want it. Once I got a 6 or 8, 10, 12, whatever tacks going up through there, then I'm going to go back and cut it. And I'll show you why. Alright. Now if I go in just like this, then my butt weld gap will be the thickness of that disc. But if I turn it up, say a 45, then my butt weld thickness will be 0 or nearly. Let me show you. Hopefully you can see this. So here's my outside panel. Here's my inside panel. If I come in at this angle, then I'm cutting like this. It's a little thick, but you get the idea. So when this falls in at a 45 or whatever, this is cut as well. But if my outside panel is here, inside panel is here, and I cut like this, then when this falls into here, then there's a whole gap there. So in theory, that won't let it be like that. But I've never done it, just going by what I was told. Wish me luck. Lost my goggles. Battery's going dead. My goggles smoked. Oh, and then as I cut, I'll take and push in and tack it as I go, so it holds it in place. So here we go. So instead of, you see how big the gap is looking down, but if you look at it from straight ahead and you push the panel in where it's supposed to be, the gap gets significantly smaller. I mean, it's hard to tell on the camera, but there's no direct straight line cut like you'd see on this side here. Seems to work better, but All right, before the camera dies, you pretty much see what we did here. You got to go back, grind all the spots down. It took me a minute to get the welder dialed in, but I know it's hard to tell, but this actually fits up surprisingly well. Like, if you look at it going down this way, you can see the gap, but if you weld straight in, there's really no gap because you cut on the angle. But I guess due to needing a video out this week, I'll probably just stop this one off there and we'll pick back up on, well, what I'm doing next. So I got to get this bed done. We're also doing a spray and Raptor liner, so that'll be a video on itself. I got some other things I got to fix on this bed. There's one of those T-nuts that goes up in the body, the floor channel for the bolt and frame broke out. Got to fix that. Got a place on the top of the bed rail that I'm going to use a stud gun on. Got to go get that tomorrow. Just so much more sanding left to do. There's some sandblasting I want to get my boy doing on the bed. I'm going to take it out there and blast some spots, get it ready for that Raptor liner. I'll probably just go ahead and when I black the frame on the S10, just flip the bed upside down and just do the whole bottom of the bed frame black when I do the frame of the S10. Golly. But I will get back on the Impala. It's still here. I know you have not seen it in a while other than cruising videos or whatever, but there's some things I definitely need to do to that. Got exhaust leak. That's one reason I haven't been driving it. I'd love to get those disc brakes done. I'd really like to jump on the 55, but the dually here, I promised myself that car would not get touched until the dually. So, but the boy's S10 has to come in front of the dually. Hoping like crazy to have this truck done by the first of the year. He's wanting Christmas. He might have to fudge a few days. It's getting cold, so that's what sucks. I'd rather do a lot of this sanding outside than inside, so I just kind of got to rough that part. But anyway, I'll quit yammering. Thanks for watching. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. According to the numbers, only 11% of my subscribers actually watch. So there's, what is that, 9% of you are watching that aren't subscribed. If you do me a super solid there, click the subscribe button, click the bell, you'll get notifications when I do post, which I wish I could post more, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. But again, thanks for watching Left 4 Dead Garage, and we'll see you on the next one.